Hello, it has been a super windy day here today, and I'm just going out into the garden. I'm on my way to my kitchen garden to go and water all my vegetables because we are off to London for a couple of days. So I need to just make sure they all have a really good water so that they survive. The fact that I've managed to grow things is just amazing, incredible, because I've never really grown vegetables. It's just in the last year or so that I've started giving things a go. And the minute I seen things popping up, I was like, amazing, I've suddenly grown something. And we actually ate something. Last year we had a really good crop. In fact, the children and anybody that visited the house said, please, 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 Mum, no more marrows. So anyway, so here we are, going to London for 2 days. I'm going to get everything watered, and I'll give you a little tour with me as I get things watered. I've got peas that are growing up here. They're all just popping up now. Look at them. Always give me such faith and hope when I see them popping up. And then here I've got some runner beans. There they are. Hello, runner beans. And the same thing. And actually they're growing from ones I planted last year, so it's looking really hopeful. So nice when I see everything popping up and growing. I should pay attention really to filming because I'm just looking at my watering instead, so I don't know what you've been looking at. And then I've got the fennel here, and that's not the fennel bulbs, it's just the leaves that you can pick for your salads and things. So it's absolutely delicious. With my shadow, it's beautiful. It's a really beautiful evening actually. It's gone 6 o'clock now. It's just such a nice evening. It feels lovely here. It's just the wind. The wind's been so strong. And then over here, I've got some climbers that I planted. And my roses. I'm just so excited about my roses. And they're doing quite well here. I've had to completely fence, as you can see. I've had to fence this whole area off. I've had to make it rabbit proof, deer proof, never going to be slug proof I don't think, but I've just had to create a little safe environment for everything so that they've got a chance to grow. Really bad basically. It feels like a lot of things have actually survived from last year. I just like this feeling of everything popping up and everything's coming back to life. Just so nice. Makes me so happy. I could sit here for hours actually. Hours and hours and hours. There's gorgeous views here across the fields. It's such a nice place. Makes me very, very relaxed and very calm. Oh, my hosepipe is stuck again. Hang on a minute, let's go backwards because the hosepipe constantly gets stuck. Let's just unstick the hosepipe. There we are, it's stuck on that. That's there. And then over here, if I show you over here, I've just planted the marigolds because I was watching this thing about companion planting. So I've got the marigolds and I've got spinach, and I love broad beans. I absolutely love broad beans. So my mother's Maltese, so I spent a lot of time in Malta. And in Malta we call them fulu. And I used to sit with my nana in Malta at the kitchen table, and she'd have all this fulu, all these broad beans, and I used to sit and peel them and eat them raw because you can. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just, I don't know, there's a feeling that when I see these broad beans and I eat broad beans, it's just like days just sitting with my nana, my mum, and sitting at the kitchen table. This is my artichoke. This is, so in Malta we'd call it arch. And what you do, the way we would eat it, and I think it's the way the French eat it actually, is that you sort of boil it, and then the leaves, you pick each leaf off and eat each leaf, like the base of the leaf. And actually when I've got some of these, I will most definitely cook them for you, and we can sit and eat them, and I'll show you how we eat them. Hi. Well, clearly I'm not immerse in the British countryside, but instead I've come to London for 2 nights. This is where I actually grew up, London, and children grew up. Then we moved to the West Country, and the children grew up in the West Country, and now it's gone full circle and they've all moved back to London, so I'm here quite a lot. It's a little bit windy at the moment, but I'm sitting in Paternoster Square and I've decided just to sit, take in the sunshine and enjoy a lovely glass of rosé. I'm sitting in Paternoster Square, which dates back to medieval times when it was known as Paternoster Row, due to the association of the clergy of St Paul's, who would walk in procession holding their rosaries and reciting the Paternoster, which is Latin for Our Father, the opening phrase of the Lord's Prayer. When the Great Fire of London began in the summer of 1666, the Stationers' Company moved their books and paper into the crypt of the old St Paul's Cathedral for safekeeping. However, the fire's intensity caused the roof of the cathedral to burn and melt, collapsing into the crypt. The books acted as fuel, accelerating the destruction of the entire cathedral, and the whole area was destroyed. As we passed through Temple Bar, which was an ornamental gateway built in 1672 to mark the boundary between the City of London and the City of Westminster. It was moved in 1878 and eventually was situated in its current location in 2004 as the entrance to Paternoster Square. Paternoster Row rose from the ashes with the rebuilding of St Paul's Cathedral between 1675 and 1710 and was designed by Sir Christopher Wren. For centuries, this area has been the heart of publishing, where Shakespeare and Milton brought to the manuscripts, and the authors such as Charlotte and Anne Bronte met in the coffee houses to discuss the publication of their works. In World War II, London was hit by one of the heaviest night raids of the Blitz on the night of 29th December 1940. Once again, Paternoster Row was razed to the ground. However, St Paul's Cathedral, whilst hit, remained mainly intact. The column, topped by a gold leaf flaming urn, commemorates both fires that destroyed this area in 1666 and 1940. The bronze sculpture called The Sheep and Shepherd reflects the history of the Newgate Meat Market, which was established after the Great Fire of London and situated between Paternoster Row, Ivy Lane and Newgate Street, with the sheep as a religious nod to the close proximity of the new St Paul's Cathedral.